We're going to go ahead and resume this meeting tonight. And we are just going to excuse any background eating noises because it is late, folks. All right, we're moving on to approval of minutes for October 30, 2025. Do we have any motion on that?
I make a motion to approve the minutes from the last meeting.
Thank you, Commissioner Carn. Do we have a second on that motion?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Miles. And we'll go ahead and vote on that. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes unanimously. Move on to public hearing number 1, amendments to Title 19 Land Development Code of the City of Saratoga Springs, Chapter 19.09, off-street parking, citywide, city initiated. Planner Joel Temple.
Hopefully this one's pretty straightforward. It's really looking at that one sentence of the code. The idea is, right now our off-street parking requirements require us to have landscaped islands I believe it's every 10 parking stalls with trees and planters and that sort of thing. And we're hoping to facilitate city events in regional parks to make it easier to do food trucks, carnival rides, that sort of thing. Just make it easier to facilitate foot traffic, vehicular traffic, and that. So all this is saying is that parking lots in regional public parks, so not HOA owned, but just our city parks, would be exempt from the landscaped island requirements in those areas where events are anticipated to be. And so, yeah, we have possible motions to forward a positive recommendation, continue it, or to deny it. Any questions?
Which parks would this apply to?
I believe it's Neptune.
Any new parks? So
I'll just be specific. We are planning on having splash days at future phases of Patriot Park.
Okay, so
So this would apply to regional parks. We're not looking at taking out islands in existing parks. We're looking at, as we build future phases of future parks, how we program things.
if those parks were in now and they were going in, which ones would this apply to?
Specifically Patriot Park.
Okay.
There could be some in the future,
Yeah.
the next regional park would be the Fox Hollow one that was brought up tonight. But we would look at it as a city, what events are we planning on having there, what's needed, what's not needed. And it gives us the flexibility if we do want to use, asphalt for a carnival rather than grass, that we then don't have to repair the grass every time.
Okay. All right, any commissioner comment? You just have to speak up right now. Nope, seeing none. All right. Do we have a motion on this?
I'll make a motion.
Oh, sorry. Yes, thank you. Any public comment on this item? Seeing none, we'll close public comment. We'll go ahead and entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion. I move that the Planning Commission forward a recommendation for approval of the requested code amendment with the findings and conditions in the staff report.
Thank you for that, Commissioner Mann. Do we have a second on that motion?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Carn. Any questions on the motion? Hearing none, I'll now call for a vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that passes unanimously, and we'll move to public hearing item number 2. Update to water elements of the general plan in line with new state code water requirements, citywide, city-rated, senior long-range planner, Tippy, who's not here.
Tibby's not here tonight, but the consultant that has been managing this is here, so.
Hi, I'm Catherine Floor. I work for Hanson Allen and Luce. It's 859 South Jordan Parkway, South Jordan, Utah. And the legislation's approved the water use and preservation element for the general plan. It integrates land use and water use planning for long-term regional goals and city goals with growth in mind and water conservation. So the draft report that you had was reviewed by the state and reviewed by the city, so it is the updated draft, and it includes information from the drinking water and pressurized irrigation master plans, the water conservation report, and the city 40-year report, which looks at water rights in drinking water capacity and pressurized irrigation capacity. And also within this report, it looks at the water budget. So we look at what's existing and have enough capacity in both water systems to sustain the growth. And it looks good. But I didn't know, was Tippy online or did she?
Well, she's watching, but she's not able to comment.
Ah, I see.
But I've been involved in all of it as well.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah.
So if you have any questions or comments, I'm happy to.
We're going to open for public comment first.
Okay.
Seeing none, we'll close public comment and go ahead and open for commissioner comment. Commissioner Hill?
Sarah, report will be on the website so the public can take a look at it and be aware of the study that we've done.
Right. Once we've adopted it, we will add it to our website in the same spot as our general plan.
Yeah, I think this is one of the areas that I get the most comments from people in the community as they look at our growth plan. How are we doing from a water perspective? And I think it did a really good job of being very specific in giving our sources and the amount coming from that. So I just want to make sure that since we have the study, we paid for it, that it's available so our citizens can know where to go to.
Keep going for a minute.
Oh,
Well, I'll say that the updated drinking water and pressurized irrigation master plans will be presented in the next couple months. So you'll get a lot of the heavy detail that's
Right.
report explained.
I did like to look at the, under the irrigation water, the pools where they're located. That was very interesting, because there's in my neighborhood up in Mount Saratoga, they've got that cement irrigation pool, and I'm guessing that's what, the pool that they were talking, right up below the parking lot on the top. Is that, so?
Yes.
Yes.
Sorry, I had to think about it for a second. There is a secondary pond there, and then there's 2 tanks. Yes, in that area. Yes.
Okay, okay. I go by that all the time, and so sometimes it's high, sometimes middle, and sometimes completely empty.
Right, and so you'll see the secondary ponds mostly empty for the winter. We don't keep those full over the winter.
As we close down the irrigation system.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, thank you for that comment, Commissioner Hill. As someone who remembers that first month that I had an irrigation water bill,
Yeah, it talked about metering and how that has an effect on usage, doesn't it?
sure does.
People pay attention.
Yeah,
Having irrigation is 3 times as much water in the summer.
well, because it used to be free,
Yeah.
and it no longer is, and I'm still upset about it a decade later. So, all right, we'll go ahead and entertain a motion on this. Unless there, I didn't see other comment, right?
I'm added that. There wasn't verbiage for that, was it?
Are we approving something?
Yeah, I'm not actually sure here.
Oh,
I think it was just a report, wasn't it?
well, we have it on the screen.
Recommend
Let me
Recommend
see.
approval.
Yes,
Okay.
of the
Oh,
city.
there
okay.
is.
It's just weird.
There is. Section H has a, yes, you
Okay.
are recommending to the council.
So, Chair, I'd like to recommend approval to the city council as proposed or with changes. Motion, should I read that?
Yeah.
Based upon the evidence and explanations received today, I move to recommend approval to the city council of the proposed general plan update with the findings and conditions below.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. Okay, and do we have a second on that motion?
I second.
Thank you, Commissioner Hill. Any questions on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor say yes, or aye? Aye.
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 Any opposed? That passes unanimously as well. It's been a really long day.
Passed your
It really is. It is. All right, we will move on to the traffic calming report.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thanks for staying so late.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry you had to be here.
Thank you, Commissioners. So we're just here to go over the traffic calming policy update. We're working on policy updates, and we're continually working on policy updates, so this probably won't be the last time you see us discussing traffic. Traffic is a interest that you guys have, the residents have. It's a challenging topic here in the city, but primarily with the current traffic policy, what we're doing is we're trying to improve the language and clean up some of the confusion that's happened in the past. We are trying to provide more information on the process and make it clearer what the process for traffic calming applications and implementation of traffic calming measures are. We're adding information from resources such as this UDOT's crosswalk marking policy and a table on when we would entertain rapid rectangular flashing beacons for crosswalks. There's a few other things going on, but those are the highlights. We are also in the process of working on getting the application for traffic calming requests online. It's not there yet, but is something that is coming as well. This isn't necessarily open for like vote for a recommendation or anything, but we know that the Planning Commission has an interest, so we did want to present this to you prior to taking it to City Council. And I'm available for questions if you have any comments that you might have.
Oh, I've got some.
Yeah.
In child welfare, we keep a fatality and near fatality report. Do we keep anything like that for traffic stuff for the city?
For the city, police department probably does. I request information from them during most of my studies.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm going to add to that. Jeremy and I have participated in meetings where we talk about safe crossings and safe intersections, and we have received, and they do have all those fatality numbers, accident numbers, pedestrian car, truck, all of that. So there is data, and Jeremy and I have seen all of that data, just so that you know, and we do take that into consideration when we're looking at safe streets and safe crossings. So we have a lot of overlap, just so you know. That's why maybe Scott can't answer every question, but I can't either. So just so you know.
Sarah, I really like to make engineering questions. So if we could actually just keep it to that. I'm sorry.
Well, that's the thing. Scott might not have seen it, but Jeremy and I have seen it. So you know.
Okay. So there is some data there, but as and let me just be like, okay, city staff, why don't we have you do another job? But we aren't really tracking that in like a map that like, okay, this area is a definite high risk spot. We've got to make some changes here. It's just kind of available if we go look for it.
Well, it is all on a map, and
Yes.
and it is all like these are the more critical areas. Yes.
Okay. And is there a way to track, or are we do we have more information, or is there a way to get more information and have that kind of more publicly available about where citizens are reporting concerns?
And this is overlapping, so that's out of my realm. I can pass on the request, so I can't really answer the question. Making that public, making that available, all of those things, that needs to go through, city management and city council as to how we do that. That all those types of topics involve funding, so there has to be a consideration for that. And what this policy does that engineering is presenting is how do we handle those requests? What are the criteria so that there's actual criteria and it's not just anybody gets a speed bump. There's actual criteria. So that's what this is. How do we handle traffic calming? What does that policy look like in terms of the bigger topic that you're asking about? There are studies and things happening, and I'm not as involved, so I can't answer that. But also, there's other decision makers that have to make those decisions.
And we do post the results of our internal studies on the internet in the engineering section for departments there.
So you hide it there for us?
Yeah, we,
Okay. So, and Sarah, I really appreciate the work that you guys all put into this, and I recognize that you can't answer every question and really out in left field tonight, but we do have some residents who have some really pretty serious concerns, and I don't want to publicly admit to making this mistake, but I think I did speed over there the other day.
What?
I know, and I
Now
don't
you know. Now you know.
get my sons. I'm not a speeder, right? I'm actually a very, very slow and safe driver because I'm kind of a grandma. And I was really shocked with how that road was, and I wasn't expecting it, and it was nighttime and dark and all of those things. And so I'm hearing that issue that you guys have. And I was thinking about that and thinking about what y'all have brought up and thinking about that planning commission training that we went to a couple weeks back. And they had a really cool map for public biking that was a public kind of, I think it was a private citizen started it, but did you see that? So I think that as a city, we are a very young, very, very young city, and we've had so much growth, and we have these spots that crop up that sometimes I sit in this chair a couple of times a week or a couple of times a month, and I didn't realize that spot and how bad it was until I was there. And then you guys came, and then I was like, okay, actually that spot's really bad. So I think that we do have some space where we could have some more citizen involvement in this and looking at like, how do we make complaints not just on Facebook and make it something that is workable with the city? And that does take some citizen initiative and some citizen work that's unpaid and unappreciated. But I'm going to really encourage that we kind of like start looking at something that we can have that public information of where complaints are coming in and what the complaints are. And then also, how is the city addressing them, responding to them? Because we do address and respond to issues. I feel like we do have a really good city staff here, but they can't do everything. And so it does take us all kind of working together on some of this. So I did kind of overtake everything tonight on this piece, but I hear you. I hear what y'all are saying. And I think there's some room for making some changes here, but we got to come up with some other additional ideas. Because the crosswalks and speed bumps and whatnot, we just got some put in my neighborhood. They aren't doing a damn thing. There hasn't been a single slowdown. So while these might meet state requirement, what actually might work better and work for our city and provide actual safety results is looking forward at how can we incorporate all of these complaints and move through them faster and be able to have the public have access to those and know what the complaints are and where to be aware of things, and maybe start looking at some of that. So I don't know if that was even helpful, sorry for my ramble tonight. There's really, we're not supposed to, but I'm not going to stop you if you yell something.
So one thing that is just note, this road that we are talking about was never zoned to be what it is.
Yeah.
It was turned into it for emergency purposes because they needed to have a second way to be able to get out of the city without putting everyone on the road and have to evacuate again. So it was the furthest north road that all developments south of Jacobs Ranch could access through neighborhoods to be able to escape and leave the city, so that you don't have everyone on River Road if we have to evacuate like we did with the big fire a couple years ago. So the road was always going to eventually turn into the Mountain View corridor, but it was supposed to be a neighborhood.
Sorry. If we are going to allow public comment, we should invite them to the microphone so it's on the record.
Gosh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. That's on me. do we need to vote to open up public comment on this?
You certainly can. That's your, yeah, if you could, as a commission,
ahead.
vote whether you want to open some public comment or not. I think that's the best approach. And then if we are receiving public comment, it's best if they're on their microphone because that's how it gets recorded.
I'm so sorry. Let's go ahead. Commissioners, do we want to vote to open public comment on this item again?
Yes.
Aye.
Yes, aye.
Entertain a motion.
Okay, do you want me to state with my name and address?
Yes,
again?
please.
Okay, so my name's Mindy Green. I live on 2112 South Ruger Drive in Saratoga Springs. And like I said, I've been a resident here for 22 years. I love the city. I plan on dying here. Going to get me a cemetery plot, say in the city. And I've come to a lot of meetings because I invested in the city. The road that they have now turned into as a through road was voted on the year after we had the last big fire because of how backed up the city was trying to get out. And as you guys remember that were here, it was pretty much we were deadlocked for hours. And so the city came back and they voted to, what can we do to help pull congestion off of Redwood Road in case there's an emergency? And what was voted was that they would extend because the state of Utah was talking about financial and budget cuts and they couldn't put the Mountain View corridor all the way through like they were originally going to. It was supposed to take it all the way to, I believe it was the Israel Canyon Road. But the budgets didn't accommodate for that. And so what the city voted was we will stop it at this North Road at Jacobs Ranch because that road can be accessed through every single development on the west side of Redwood Road through back roads. And we can have a second route to be able to get people out of the city if we need to evacuate by not funneling everyone to Redwood Road. So that's why they chose to stop at that road. But the problem is that road was never ever zoned to be what was the word, feeder? A collector road. We have houses that face the road on both sides. Collector roads have houses that their backyards face it, like Grandview Boulevard. Collector roads have the middle center median. Sorry, I had the center medians to try to help with flows. Ours does not. When we looked into, and Matt has worked with him a lot. Oh, George, sorry. Okay, George has worked with him a lot. And I think we've pretty much exhausted all options as far as what the city allows, outside of the fact that it is being treated as a feeder road, but was never zoned for it. So I feel like that's kind of where we as citizens have a little bit on our side is we're using a road in a way that's not being zoned and it needs to stop.
Yeah.
And so that's where my concerns are at. It's just because we have little kids on that road and we have families and all the houses face that road. And we have, literally every single day, you're gonna get a minimum of 10 to 15 cars that are going above 50 miles an hour flying down that road. And every single day you're going to get at least that don't even, like you said, they don't even stop at the stop sign. We have the blinker ones. We have the street thing that tells you how fast you're going, and they pull out their phones and record themselves so that they can send it to all their friends on Facebook that they're going like 60 miles an hour in a residential because they think they're cool. So those things just aren't helping. So, thank you.
I just want to make a comment. I know, Matt, you've been crowned block captain. So there are two specific things out of tonight that you can do. One that I didn't even know existed until today is this traffic calming study, Appendix B. You fill out a resident application that you want a traffic calming study done, and I believe that probably triggers feedback. So it doesn't feel like you just talk into the wind. The second thing would be the police department as well.
Right.
And I just,
Contact them and ask them to increase enforcement, especially after school.
And if I may, on item 2 on that form, it says that if there's speeding, high traffic volumes, traffic noise and accidents, pedestrian safety, including bicycles and parking, those are specifically mentioned in what is called the traffic calming application.
Is it still open?
I believe so.
I appreciate you guys having
Just, if you could just state your name.
Matthew Harris, 2001 South Thoroughbred Drive. I appreciate you guys showing some concern for this. Like I said, it's really been on my mind and kind of plaguing our neighborhood for months, maybe a year even. It's gotten so bad. And like Mindy said, like I've sat in neighbors' yards, watched cars fly so fast that the speed limit signs don't even register anymore. I think they stop at 50. I don't know. Seems like they never go above 50. I've been passed by vehicles, because I was going the speed limit. They just swerve around us and speed. I've seen stop signs ignored. And so that's why my concerns with this mitigation measures is it doesn't matter. Like, the stop signs are there, they don't care. And I've watched it many times, and I'm not outside near as much as one of my neighbors said he was. It's just a little bit, and I see it all day, every time I'm outside. It's just frustrating.
If you don't think the calming measures will be effective, what do you want to have?
So my goal is there is a massive open plot of land to the north of us. I feel like there is room for their city to zone that, or however. One of the firefighters I talked to the station suggested we bring this up, that the city require, when that land is developed, that a designated collector or feeder road be required to be put in when that land is developed. That is my end goal. I think that's the only thing that will solve the problem, honestly.
Do you know if that's in the long-term transportation plan already?
I don't, because it feels like Larry, it's kind of been forced to be that because it's the only road there, but I feel like there's room to make a new one.
Okay, thank you.
So Lariat connects to Mountain View, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and so Mountain View is a state road, right? But
That's why I'm sure there's complications with this, but that's why I was hoping to get ahead of it before that moved along further. So I don't know.
I don't think that portion of Mountain View State.
No.
it's
built-
city-owned still.
City.
But in the long run, as that widens, I think, to the 4 lanes, it's going to change ownership. Is that correct, Scott?
We're hoping.
Yeah, we hope. Well, I'm just going to throw 2 things in, and you talked a little bit about those radar speed machines. In our neighborhood, they put it up, and it really helped. Okay, I'll tell you something else that I'm from Oregon, and on heavy traffic streets like Redwood or fast places, the photo radar that takes pictures, and you get a ticket every single time.
That's illegal in Utah.
And it changes behavior. It costs a lot.
I think tickets would make a difference.
It would, I'll tell you, because you go into court saying, oh, I stopped or I did this, and they just roll it out, and it's $300 at the speeds that you're talking about. That would change behavior immediately, but that's a city and police decision to have those types of.
That's what I was going to suggest, too.
I don't know if they're legal in the state of Utah.
My dad got one, but that was like 15 years ago. I don't know if they still.
So because the planning commission is a recommending body, if there's something you'd like us to pass on to the city council, we can do so. We can't make policy here. We can't make
Right.
decisions. We can't. And again, we don't even have the right people in the room to make the decision on how this is handled. So it's totally appropriate to make your recommendation, but we do need to get this feedback to the appropriate people to get this handled in the right way.
Yeah. Sorry, sir. I feel like this is a different situation than most of the traffic concerns that we have, especially where we have houses that are have their driveway onto Lariat Boulevard. And so I felt it was appropriate to have some conversation around.
Oh, absolutely. I was just meaning the conversation was sort of heading to what the solution is, and we're not the body to decide what the solution is.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we can take the feedback and the recommendation, and then we need to get that to the appropriate people in the city and work on that solution.
Yeah. And so as we're talking about this in this conversation with it, and we're thinking about what are some potential options that these residents might move forward with, one of the issues is that if you're not real familiar with that road and the way it turns and when it turns, it's kind of shocking how quickly it goes into residential. And so it's like putting a police officer out there for 3 weeks might really calm down most of the people who are there, but then you're going to have the random person who's driving out one night to pick their kid up and doesn't realize what's going on so quickly.
Well, I can tell you, police were out on Mountain View south of Pony Express yesterday.
I did relay the latest concern to the police department. It's common, we work together. share the information, especially if it's not something that I'm going to be out there immediately doing a traffic study, or one of the other guys in the department is able to. If it's a big concern, and I view passing on a city street as a concern, but I went into it, and Utah code, I'm unable to find anything that says passing's illegal. On the other hand, if they're passing, they're probably breaking the speed limit and driving recklessly. That's an enforcement issue. I can't write tickets that I'm aware of, so
You can.
I,
Can I read from the proposed document? So it says, initial screening, due to high demand for traffic calming mitigation measures and the fact that limited resources are available, requests for traffic calming measures will be screened for eligibility according to the following general criteria. And then the main criteria is that it's a local collector road, which your road is called a local collector road. It's different than, so we have two types of collector roads. There's a collector and then a local collector, so a blend between a local and a collector. So your road already qualifies for the initial screening, and then the process, as Commissioner Hill mentioned, had to look at your name, mentioned, is that you would submit this document and request for screening, and then there's some criteria in here. So I think that the best approach from here forward is for them to go ahead and submit this. We'll pass this information on to the city council. You can also attend a city council meeting, and then we're also aware of this. Our engineering department will be evaluating this, but we need to follow the steps listed here. Again, these are definitely absolutely valid concerns, and we want to be looking at it. We want to be looking at the criteria in this document and how that relates to this particular type of road. And then we need to get the right people in the city. I don't even know how all these things are handled, so we need more people involved that aren't here tonight.
Sarah, did you realize what the situation was out there?
Oh, absolutely, yes. I've driven this road. I know we've been getting these complaints. We're aware that it's an issue, and before tonight, we're already having discussions, yes.
Okay. I didn't mean that as in you personally. I meant like you.
The city, yes, yes, the city is aware that there's concern about the traffic on this road and the speeding and everything like that. And we are looking at, what can we do? But this further encourages us to continue to look at that.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. We're going to go ahead and wrap up the discussion on this report. I really do appreciate having y'all come in and encourage you to keep going at it. Government moves slow. That's all. Thanks, folks. Anything else on the traffic calming report?
no, not that I can think of. That's pretty much it for now. But we will, as I said, we will end up coming back with more, like another big issue that's looking in the future is probably going to be no parking when we mark that on roadways and things like that, so it's.
On all roadways? What?
No, just when we decide to use no parking on a roadway, that's something we're going to end up adding to the traffic calming policy. It's continually, there's things that come in, new processes, things that we can use, tools for traffic calming, things that get taken out for traffic calming, like you won't see three-dimensional markings in the city because that's kind of been decided that's not the greatest idea, even though it seems like it would be in some instances. But that was Federal Highway Administration, I believe, that removed that. So you'll never see like appearing raised stop crosswalk type things.
Okay.
Well, the crosswalk on Pony Express on the east side of the Jordan River that have crosswalk lights embedded in the pavement, and especially at night or dusk, those light up. Those really slow you down when there's someone, they push the button and things are happening at that crosswalk.
Yeah, and that's that rapid rectangular flashing beacon chart that we have. So we are evaluating some more of our crossings, and we have more tools to like look at some of these things.
Yeah, you view that once as a driver, and then I'm always looking, if, it really tells you that there are pedestrians waiting to cross. It's effective, my driving on that road.
Seems like something like that combined with a good number of speed bumps, which are pretty cost-effective, and we could do that pretty dang quickly.
Speed bumps are not a traffic calming method that the city uses.
Well, at 50 miles an hour, they would be.
Yeah, exactly. They work. Believe me. They've had to do them like in Salt Lake. There used to be, well, actually, by my old high school, we had the Brighton bump. And in high school, it was like the cool thing to go like 40 miles an hour down this hill and hit this and catch air and yay. Well, now I'm looking back like, oh, those poor homeowners. Like that was what all the high schoolers did. They put in a few speed bumps. That stopped it real quick. That was it. So that could be a quick and easy solution, I think.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you, Scott.
And commissioner comments.
I just have one thing. For those that are looking for training opportunities, in December, the League of Utah Cities and Towns are having, and you can go to their website and look under events, but on December 6th, which is a Saturday, they are going to have an in-person 9 to 1 o'clock elected officials essentials. And so that's a 4-hour class. On the 13th, which is the next Saturday, 9 to 1, this will be a Zoom online, which is elected officials essentials. And then on Tuesday, the 16th, from noon to 1:30, elected officials essentials land use 101 part 2. So these are available if you're looking for training opportunities. The League of Utah Cities and Towns have that.
These all go towards our credits needed for the year? You were talking about one at the last meeting. Was it one of these trainings that you were discussing?
No, we got that at the conference.
No.
Oh, so we
The Zoom one in December.
we went through 5, 6 class, we did maybe 4 or 5 classes of an hour each, and so we
Yeah.
got credit for all of that.
Do we need to submit that to
Yes,
you and some that we attend
By the end of
the
the year,
conference,
yes,
or-
please.
If you need hours, you can watch YouTube.
Yeah, you could watch this on the land use through
But that
the.
will give me hours,
Yeah,
because I
this
do
will
need
give you
hours. Okay.
And just so everybody knows, there's 4 requirements. If you attend 12 meetings, which you all do, that's one. The land use training that Ruland did, that's another one. So you need 2 more hours of qualifying items if you haven't gotten them yet. So, yeah.
And I just want to apologize to city staff. I'm sorry that we've let this meeting go on so long tonight. I really appreciate y'all sticking around with us and letting us figure all of this out. So thank you.
Oh, I'm
Director,
sorry, I have one commissioner comment. We're supposed to go to city council on the 18th.
Yes.
don't forget. At 6 PM.
And no apology needed. It's all right. So I was going to say the same thing. Just a reminder of the joint meeting on November 18th. There'll be a presentation on the Three Canyons development, which is the state trust lands in coordination with Larry H. Miller. It's 1,200 acres on the west above quite a few developments, actually, because that's a lot. So that's massive. Of course, we do want you to come if you can. I know not everyone can come. We did not have a council meeting on November 4th, so there's no council approval since you last met. And then, of course, your November 27th meeting, no meeting. So you do still get 2 meetings in November with that joint meeting, but you won't have one on Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. We'll go ahead and
That joint meeting.
adjourn this meeting.
I
Yeah.
have to take off early to get